Hey, what's up, guys? This is Jason with Buddha Farms coming to you Friday, March 30th, 2018. All right, it's been a beautiful day out here. I got a lot of stuff done, so what I'm going to do is just kind of take you around today and do a little tour of what we got going on here at Buddha Farms. You know, not everything's in the best conditions, not everything's growing right, but we're just going to show you. It rained really hard yesterday, so a lot of stuff's wet and sloppy. But we're just going to show you around, and it's not always picture perfect, but we're gonna show you what we got. All right, guys. First thing we're going to show you here is the chicken coop, or one of the two. That second one, the red one over there, was actually given to me by my neighbor. You know, always over here, the helpful neighbors. Guy just showed up. He was across the street. Said, "Hey, I got chickens. The kids don't want to play with them anymore, and you know they're not eating the eggs." So I actually went over there and got it. It was 4 chickens, 1 rooster. That hen house right there was completely decked with eggs. Only fortunately most of them were just rotten, so I was trying to clean that up. They were exploded and it was a big stinky mess, but now it's cleaned out. They're happy and healthy. I've added a couple of hens to them, and they're producing. I'll probably get about out of 5 hens and 1 rooster, I get about 5 to 6 eggs a day from them, so that's pretty good. And this other thing we call the manger here is just mostly free material. Besides a couple of pieces of wood, I found this gate on the side of the road. The gate just worked great for it. All the pallets were people throwing it away. What I got it kind of structured is I got the T-post in the ground, and I got all the pallets strapped to those, and that's how it's going. The roof was tin I got from my uncle, who tore down a big RV, what do you call them, RV covers. So I took that tin and stripped some wood and just made a cover for it. So in there I got 6 chickens, 1 rooster, I believe. And also in the back I have is the let's go in there. I have is the rabbits. I got 3. Yeah, I got 3 adults, 2 mamas on the corners there, and the buck in the middle. So 2 does and a buck. She was actually supposed to have a litter very soon, but she actually only gave me 1 litter right when we got her. So it's been a couple of years and she hasn't given me a litter. So whenever I do process these babies over here, these bunnies, I'll probably end up processing her, and I'll take one of these and make them one of my does. But I have 6 from this mama right here. Usually gives me about 3 or 4 litters a year, so she's awesome. So we just bred her again this morning. Hopefully get another 6 or so. I'll be going to the farmers market, or there's a little chicken swap at Tractor Supply in Covington. I'll be going there tomorrow and trying to see if we can get rid of some of these bunnies. 5 of them, 6 of them, and I don't know what the sexes are yet. I gotta flip them over and check those out, but I'll be doing that soon. All on the side of that manger here is where I actually have their hen house. We don't actually have any nesting boxes for them. They kind of just sit in one of these corners over here, and I'll open this up and show you. Essentially, it's just some 2x4s. I got it mounted onto a pallet, and just again that tin that I got from my uncle. Okay, rooster's going crazy. Let me open it up. So I got a couple of roosting poles in there, and you can see in the corners there's 1 egg over there, and there's a few more over there, and they just nest in here, and I've actually had nesting boxes available for them, but they've never felt the need to use them. They've always kind of just laid where they wanted to. All right, I'm gonna go take y'all to the greenhouse next. All right, guys, we're going to take you into the greenhouse real quick. Got the fan going, got the doors on open. It's getting pretty hot. If I had this bad boy closed up, it's about 75 outside. It would be about 120 in here right now, and it's about 89. A little dry, but you know, that's what it does. If you've seen it before, it's just the metal top links. I had a jig that I purchased online that bent them into, it's 10.5-foot sections. We put them together, so it makes it 12 feet wide. It's about 7 feet tall, so it's perfect height room for me. And we got the purling down the middle, just that top link again, and we just drilled some holes and used some carriage bolts and nuts to kind of secure that. So it gives us some really good structure. You see the UV poly going across it, and then we crossed those that poly with some clothesline, and that really holds it down, keeps it nice and tight. So this has really been essential. Built the benches, everything came out well, and you see I got my my microgreens over there started. Already uncovered the radishes. I believe it was Tuesday I planted these, and 3 days and radishes are ready. They were already pushing up real hard, nice and getting green over there. I got the other sunflowers and peas coming up. I got the tools going. This bad boy, I know I had a video on it, but this thing right here, I'll post it I'll post a link up top to the video where I made it. But this thing is awesome. I used it all day today. It just gets weeds out. It's awesome to make little channels for seeds. I just planted some okra just by seed. I had a little mound, just went across the top of it, and just dropped the seeds in, covered it back up with that thing's awesome. For materials I had, I just made the best tool I've ever used over here. This is the mint. There's some Salanova lettuces looking good. If you remember one of the other videos, these are all in soil blocks, but I had these things in the small soil blocks. I had to move them to the bigger soil blocks because they were stunted. And you'll see when we go outside, just nothing's really, all the lettuce I planted was not happy. So I got to get it a little farther along than I did in the past, and get them out there when they're bigger so they can handle it. It's the kale. That's the other soil blocks with the potting soil and the Elliott Coleman mix. They're both doing well. Actually, now that we're looking at it, the Elliott Coleman mix is probably doing a little better, and that's probably, I would assume, because of the fertilizer in it. But I can always just add a little fertilizer to the potting mix, so that might be another little test we got. I got some peppers that I got from the store. We actually chopped the tops off, some intensive pruning to get them to branch out. So I'm waiting for them to start growing again. More peppers, sweet habanero, jalapenos, all of those. And these are some more tomato starts that I'll be getting into the ground soon. It's just a little warm right now, or it's a little wet right now, so I can't really get it into the ground yet. That's the heating mat that really helps those seedlings pop out the soil when it's too cold. Quick little stop by the milletons. The first time I've actually trying to grow them. Got them trellised up with some metal fencing onto some posts there, and I'll put some more fencing going across once they start getting up there. A little photo bomb by the tractor. All right, this is the high tunnel in the garden. This thing has been pretty incredible as well. I'm gonna take you around. I have it opened on this side. This is where I have the cucumbers, and I got some green beans planted next to the cucumbers, tomatoes, and at the far end over there we got some eggplant. But everything's tied up, everything's growing. Really awesome. I couldn't be happier for it. We got a bunch of cucumbers. I don't know if you can see it right there. I'm looking at a pretty decent sized slicing cucumber going down the row. I just got some drip line in here. I actually need to get another section because I only got one section going through the tomatoes, but I'll put another section in here. Everything's tied up, got the clotheslines going down with the tomahawks and the string. I actually cut the suckers off of all the tomatoes and cucumbers today, reattached them with the plant clips, so everything's trellised up and ready to keep growing for another week. I got a lot of tomato flowers on there. I got a lot of cucumbers, like I said. The eggplants are doing well. I actually got to look up because I haven't really had much success with growing eggplants, but these look pretty well, and I'm sure there's some kind of special pruning method. If y'all have any ideas or point me in the right direction, I'd love to learn a little bit. But I'm going to get on that probably tonight. Farther in the corner there, I planted some more tomatoes in the middle, and at the end of the eggplants I've planted some more peppers, but they're small right now. Got to get them going. This high tunnel again is just the top rail, that top link, and just like in the greenhouse, with some the vertical pipe that's a little bigger. I got those inserted. This is 12 foot by 50 foot, and the UV poly with the same clothesline going over to hold the poly down. All right, I'm gonna take you around the garden over here. You can see it's a big wet mess, you know, in a good spot of most of the sections anyway. We had a lot of rain yesterday, so it's actually not that bad. It's pretty dried out. Right in the middle, after about the first 25 feet, I got a little dip in the garden that kind of holds a lot of water, but it ends up drying out, and it'll be all right. But I'll end up filling it towards the end of the season once I got some soil. I'm not even gonna mess with this end because this is real low. But I finished those beds on the far corner over there. If you can see, I just formed those before all that rain come through. So what I got right here in this row I'm standing by is mostly cauliflower and broccoli and cabbage. I got that lettuce. If you can see, it's not really doing. The stuff inside is looking a lot better, but it's starting to grow, but not really. I might just have to scrap that. It just never took off. Whether or not I planted it too early, I think it was more of I planted it too small, and it just never kicked off. And again, this soil is pretty bare, so I've had to actually fertilize it to try to get everything going. This is some more broccoli on this row. And at the farther end over there, I got some kale. The kale's actually looking really good. I'm looking forward to that as well. I'm gonna take you around to the other side. All right, so we're at the southeast corner of the garden here. In that first row, we have some onions, leeks, and garlic. The second two rows, we posted some videos actually of that, was the plotting the seeds. We had radishes, carrots, lettuce, and beets, I believe, and the only thing really popping up healthy is those radishes. I actually just pulled the small one just to see how it was. It's pretty tasty, so those are doing good. We got over here the next three, these narrow beds. I planted some squash, some spaghetti, white scallop, and zucchini. The next bed we have seeded here is spinach, and at the far end we have some spinach that we actually planted from seed in the greenhouse just to see if that did any better. They came up better, but I don't know if they're going to continue to grow. We'll have to see there. Then the next row here, we just have some cabbages, and those are looking pretty good too. We just planted those in the ground a few days ago. The next spot here is just some beds I just made before that rain came through, so you see everything's kind of wet and mushy, but that'll dry out in the next few days. And what's really helping that drainage is these trenches I put in. I got one on this corner, and I have another one on the far corner over there on the other side of the blueberries. So that really does help everything dry out pretty quickly when we get a really hard torrential downpour. Right there I got another pile of horse manure. It's not the main spot that I've been dropping, but I am going to start dropping here. I'm going to take out those small pine trees you see right there, not the big three in the background there. That's next to the driveway. But I'll make another garden and just load it up with horse manure, compost it down. We'll spread that out, and that'll be our next beds, and to expand the garden a little bit. But everything that's going to take a little bit of time to get enough manure, knock those trees out, all that fun stuff. All right, right next to the garden, we actually have, well, right there, we had a little test garden that I did last winter just to try it. I had some horse manure, and everything really grew well, so I went ahead and took the leap to start everything. I got to take all of that down, kind of clean it up, and I was trying to think if I'm gonna make more garden beds or if I'll just expand this. This is just of 10 blueberry plants, bushes that have produced a ton. Actually we just had these 4 last season that I planted in the spring, early spring. I took all the buds off because I thought I knew better than the plants, because wanted the roots to grow, but that plants just put on a ton more buds. We got a ton of blueberries, and they grew really well. They were really happy, so I went ahead and planted 6 more in the fall last year, and those are blowing up right now, leaves and all, blooms, being very happy. And being this is the North Shore, it gets a little too cold. At the far end over there, I got 3 dead citrus, lemon, and 2 oranges, and they just did not make it. I'm going to take those out, and we'll take this garden out. I had that white fencing around there just to protect it from whatever, but unnecessary really. I'll take all of that out, and we'll probably get a bunch more blueberry bushes and make us a nice blueberry orchard, because they really like it in this spot. All right, so what you're seeing here is actually the second piece of property we bought. It's connected to our property. It's another 3 acres, similar. It's a little bigger than what we have now, but we'll probably, just because of these real nice oak trees and everything, there's a pond in the back there. We call it the donut pond. It's a big circle pond with an island in the middle, and I don't know if you can see those sticks popping up. We actually put some posts in the ground, and we'll plan on building the bridge that we can cross over. But in the future, you know, 5-10 years, we'll see how it goes, you know, how well everything makes with the farm. But we'll plan on building on this piece of property our permanent house. But as of right now, it is a storage location for horse manure, and it's doing a really good job. All right, guys, well, I hope y'all enjoyed that little tour. You know, you kind of second guess yourself and be like, oh, this isn't right, or this doesn't look good, or it's not the right time to do it. Man, if I waited till the right time where everything was perfect, it would never happen, and y'all would never get to see what we got going on. So I wanted to show y'all at the beginning how it was going, all the goods and bads, all the low spots in the garden, the stuff I didn't think about, the lettuce not growing well, everything else, having to add fertilizer just to kind of kickstart everything and really get it up and going. But you know, such is life, and I just wanted to let y'all see and get a good kind of little bit of a behind the scenes shot of what we have and how everything's going, and give you all the whole story. All right, guys, thanks for following. Talk to y'all later.